crossing the saddle of the Canelo Hills. I have to look. One thing when you're hiking and you're focused on putting one foot in front of the other, you kind of forget where you are. Good thing I got a good app to follow. The morning of day 3 on the Arizona Trail was greeted with relief. The Huatchuca Mountains and Miller Peak were now behind me, and the gentler landscape of the Canelo Hills lay ahead. Though out of the Miller Peak wilderness area, the trail ahead remains part of the Coronado National Forest. Located south and east of Tucson, this national forest is made up of 8 separate protected wilderness areas, covers 1.7 million acres and 15 Sky Island mountain ranges. So we completed the first of 43 passages of the Arizona Trail, the Huatchuca Mountains. That included Miller Peak, and now we're into passage 2. A little bit behind where I'd hoped to be, but such is life on the trail. Make a plan. And the trail will tell you who the boss is. Today I would leave the Huatchuca Mountains initial passage and enter the Canelo Hills East Passage at the Parker Canyon Lake Trailhead. My fascination with the alligator juniper continued as I often saw it along the trail. I'll show you a neat tree. Call these the lizard skin trees. See the bark on them? It looks like a lizard. A crocodile. Parker Lake would be the first of only a few lakes to be encountered. Although the trail does not go directly to the lake and its recreational facilities, it can be reached from the trailhead. It was tempting to cover these extra couple miles just to enjoy a dip in the cool water. But instead, I was more excited to encounter my first water cache. All along the trail, people will cache water for hikers to use. Some are found out in the open like this one, while some are in purpose-built metal containers. They are typically located in areas that are devoid of water sources, so are a welcome oasis for thirsty hikers. The transition from mountain to hills saw a change in flora as well. What I thought was a variety of holly, I would later find out was actually a variety of oak tree. With their distinct reddish bark, manzanita shrubs could be found hugging the trail. It would not be Arizona without cactus. At these lower elevations, more and more cactus would begin to appear, such as this barrel cactus. Saw my first blooming cactus a couple miles back. Being spring, many cactus were blooming, such as this hedgehog variety. Speaking of cactus, if you liked this video, hit the thumbs up below and also click to share it. Each week I will be posting a new video on YouTube showing my next steps along the Arizona Trail, so click the bell below to be notified when a new video is posted. Let's face it, Arizona is essentially one big rock. Nowhere have I seen anything resembling topsoil. It is essentially big rocks, medium rocks, and pesky small rocks. At this point, I was beginning to love the big rock formations. These rocks were covered by a bright light green lichen, quite a contrast from the typical dull desert look. Saw some wild boar. 3 wild boar running across the trail earlier, probably more like around lunchtime. I had never seen wild boar before, so it was pretty cool. I later learned that these wild boars were in fact peccary, better known as javelina. They are not the feral or razorback hogs found across the United States, as they are not directly related to those wild pigs. The peccary, or javelina, is more commonly found in Central and South America, but the collared peccary can be found in southern Arizona. They are not typically aggressive, but definitely don't provoke them, as they are generally found in packs up to 20 animals that could do some damage. A couple firsts today included my first cow sighting. I would enjoy many bovine encounters and discussions with them further up the trail as it crosses many pasture land. It took 3 days, but I came across my first wet stream, having already crossed many dry stream beds. This is the desert after all.
It's been a great day. Nice rain this morning. Following beds. Most of them dry, the odd pool of water, which is nice.
The trail that cuts through this desert landscape is generally easy to follow, as it is quite visible. In addition, the trail is pretty well marked with the distinguishable Arizona Trail marker at road junctions and where it intersects other trails, where one could become confused and potentially head off in the wrong direction. The Arizona Trail Association has a great following of volunteers who keep the trail well groomed and clear of major obstacles. They are also opening up new sections of single track trail where it had previously been following a section of dirt road or jeep track. As the trail crosses both private and public lands, there are many gates that one must pass through. On private lands, many of the gates mark pastures, and it is always important to close gates to ensure any cattle remain where they are supposed to be. However, the odd time it is possible to choose whether to go through a gate or just go around it. Seeing solar power panels out in the middle of nowhere was quite strange at first, but these modern trees of technology were usually located near water tanks. So instead of relying on old wind vanes to pump water for use by cattle, now the sun powers the pumps.
Most of the day has been going through hills, which, although better than mountains, they do have their challenges too. So right now I'm up here on a saddle. Nice cool breeze. And so for the next couple miles, it's going to be mostly downhill. I can live with downhill.
The ups and downs of traversing the Canelo Hills brought absolutely stunning vista views. One thing about writing and blogging is rediscovering the meaning of well-used words. Looking up vista, it is defined as a distant view or prospect, especially one seen through an opening. When cresting a hill, the opening through the trees would reveal beautiful vistas. These first nights on the trail were spent under moonless skies, meaning I was camped out in pitch black. And I mean galactic black hole black, since there was no nearby civilization to throw out any light pollution. Playing with the night sight on my phone camera turned up some interesting snaps.
Love it. Have a good one.
Thank you for joining me on the Arizona Trail. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to follow the Ambler Odysseys with Bill England. You can also follow along on my website, www.theamblerodysseys.info, and on the Ambler Odysseys social media channels.